There's a lot of talk about a high value man, but it really means nothing if you don't have high values as a man. Money means nothing without the right mentality. Got to realize that your value isn't determined by how much money you make. It's determined by the investment that you make in yourself and others. Let's talk about it. I'm mic'd up. Join me and let's mix it up. What's good people? How you doing? How you living? How's it going? What's happening? I hope you are doing well. Hit the thumbs up button on this video. Let's do that. Hit the thumbs up button on this video and just type high values man. Come on, type that in the chat. High values man. That's what I want to talk about today. Standards that real men live by. The misnomer is that a high value man is solely about his money, but not his mentality. And you got to realize this, that your value is determined by how much money you make. To a certain degree, it can be determined by how much money you keep. But it's not so much about the money. What is it to have the money if you don't have the mentality? Your value isn't determined by the investment that you make in yourself and others. That's what the value is determined by. What the value is determined by the investment that you make in yourselves and others. Here's the thing. You're more than a utility as a man. You're more than somebody who was created to just pay your bills, much less somebody else's. A high value man means nothing if he has a low vision. What's the vision that you have for yourself? What is the wherewithal that you have within yourself to see that there's something great within you, to go after that dream and have that drive and have that tenacity and to go after your destiny by any means necessary. A man's true worth is not in his net worth. I need you to hear me. Your true worth does not originate specifically from your net worth. And what society will oftentimes indoctrinate you into the philosophy to think about is the whole aspect that you're just a utility. Your value is based upon how much money you make. Your value is based upon your name and your fame and your clout and your claim. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. You're not a high value man if you don't have high values as a man. And a high value man should be defined as someone who is emotionally intelligent. A high values man. That's what we're talking about. Standards and principles that men live by. High values man is someone who's emotionally intelligent. High values man is someone who pursues his purpose. High values man is someone who takes care of his mental well-being. He cares for his family. He empowers others. Here's what you can't do. You can't allow the valuables to outweigh the value in you. Got to take off the mask. You got to unveil and deal with the real you. You can't live your life as a second-rate version of who it is that you are when you were born to be a first-class individual. I want you to think about it. I want you to take your mind to another level. High values, man. Your value is not contained in what you have. Your value is contained in who you are. You'll never know who you are until you know whose you are. Sad indictment if somebody never told you who you are. Sad indictment if somebody only made you believe that your value only contributed, your value was only specifically contained in what it is that you had, what it is that you were able to purchase, but not who you really are. Not the investment of your value and your particular worth. Beyond the car that you drive, what's driving you? More than the Rolex that's on your wrist, do you know what time it is? Beyond the designer glasses that are on your face, do you have a vision for your future? More than the clothes that you wear, do you have on the full armor of God? As a man, as you are, yes, as I've talked about, a mature, assertive nurturer. We don't often ascribe and attribute nurturing to men, only particularly to women. However, here it is, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, as men, we express love without limits. We nurture when we're not callous and cold. We nurture when we're compassionate. You know when we nurture? We nurture when we lead with love. We nurture when we engage in active listening. We nurture with our level of emotional intelligence. We nurture by becoming emotionally present. That's nurturing. That's our true nature. Here's how we nurture. We nurture, yes, as being mature. Yes, as being assertive. But we also have to play emphasis. We also have to place emphasis on nurturing. We nurture when we shift from hurting internally to embracing inner healing. And here's what society does. Society suffers when men go through life meandering. When men go through life void of direction, aimless, void of purpose, lacking a mission-minded mindset. We suffer the most. Our homes suffer, our families suffer, our communities suffer. Simply because we have a skewed image and a skewed view of who it is that we are. So we can't love without limits. Because the vision of who it is that we see ourselves to be is based upon what it is that we have, much less based upon what we didn't receive. Based upon what has not been conceived in our own mind. My dear brother, I want to ask you this. Come on, family, type image. Type image. What is the image that you have of yourself? In order to be the man. We like to say that, yeah, I'm the man. We always say, yeah, I'm the man because you G'd up from the feet up. I'm the man because you got that promotion on the job. I'm the man because I created a business. I'm the man because I got that woman. In order to be the man, here's what it boils down to. It boils down to how you handle your demands. Can't talk about you, the man, if you don't handle your demands. Because here's the thing. If we're going to truly reclaim our image, we got to remove our mask. If we're going to truly reclaim our image, we have to free ourselves from the vestiges of our past, from the emotional incarceration, from the psychological pain, from the emotional trauma. We got to seek God's restoration. We got to be spiritually connected. We have to be rooted. We have to develop a foundation in our faith. We have to have reconciliation with our brothers and with our loved ones. That's really what it boils down to. Because here's the thing, beyond your drive to be a breadwinner, beyond your drive to secure the bag, what are you doing to secure your soul? What are you doing to secure your mental health? What are you doing to foster deeper levels of connection? What space and place do you put into your life to pour into you? Notice I didn't say buying things for you, but actually to meditate, actually to read, actually to enlighten yourself, actually to pull away from all of the emotional stimuli so that you can be centered. What are you doing to free yourself from emotional shackles? Because here's the thing, our pseudo bravado and brawn and emotional stoicism, all of that oftentimes keeps us locked. What does it keep us locked in? It keeps us locked in a psychological prison without bars. Because here's the thing, if men are destroyed, then our homes are destroyed. If men, those who should mentor, those who should empower, those who should nurture, if a man means to manage, maintain, manifest, use God's manual simply because he has a mandate. If strong men, those who should be strong, are destroyed, then our homes are destroyed. Our families, our communities will forever be destroyed. We got to be revived. We got to do more than just survive. We got to thrive. We have to be restored. We have to be refreshed. Come on, family type. We need you, bro. We need you, brother. We need you to be the father. We need you to be the leader. We need you to be the provider. We need you to be the protector. We need you to be the priest of your home. We need you to adopt high values. High values. By valuing you. By valuing the vision that God gave you. By valuing the purpose that is within you. Family, I love it. This is a channel for change. This is a channel that brings change. It creates change. This is a channel that breaks chains. Come on, hit the thumbs up button on this video right here. We're having a super conversation. Feel free to drop a super chat. Feel free to drop a super sticker. If you don't have my book called The Mask of Masculinity, go ahead and get it. A book for all the brothers, but also the sisters, the women who love us. How women can create a safe space and place for us as men to be vulnerable. How men can free themselves from the emotional incarceration, the psychological pain, freeing themselves from the fears, the father wounds, the failures, the frustrations, the frailties. How men can reclaim their identity, lead and love with vulnerability. That's the caption to the book. EddieConnor.com to get a signed copy. Amazon. It's also there as well. If you're not a member of our YouTube channel, I love seeing all the badges that are in here. It's very colorful in here. If I do say so myself. Conversations like this one right here, courageous conversations, is why you need to join this channel. And you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Simply by becoming a member of the channel. Come on, hit the join button. Unlock VIP, royalty, OQP. Get exclusive membership, behind the scenes type of content, members only discounts, things that I'm not necessarily sharing here. I got it there. Join us there. So become a member, VIP, royalty, OQP, glowing, growing community of quality people. You're one of them. Join us. We're talking about high values man. Yeah, high values man, high values men, standards that real men live by. Simply because if you don't know what you want, somebody's going to decide what you get. And generally, hear me, it's going to be what you don't want. Because if you don't know what you don't want, you don't know what you do want, somebody's going to share with you what it is that you're not going to even conceive. Got to know what you want. Got to know what you want in life. Too many of us are confused. Indecision is the decision. Indecision is a decision. If you don't know what you want, somebody's going to decide what you get. But how do you know what you don't want if you don't know what you do want? So is the person who doesn't know what they want. Are you confused yet? Too many men are confused about, I'm not talking about confused about identity. I'm talking about confused about purpose. Maybe that might be part of it too. Confused about what it is that they're supposed to do. Confused about how they're supposed to live their life. Confused about who they're supposed to become. So here it is. Now I got to compete. I got to compare. Simply because I don't know who I am. I'm trying to fit in when I was born to stand out. I'm trying to be like them and him when I don't know who I am in him. As a man, you have a mandate. Come on, family, type mandate. Type mandate. You got a mandate as a man. What is that mandate? You're called and commissioned to create change. That's what you're called to do. You're chosen to pursue your purpose. You're selected to be in divine alignment with your divine assignment. Got to manifest your destiny. Got to use God's manual for purposeful living. As a man, you can't just settle for anything. You can't just go along to get along. What are the standards? What are the values? What are the principles that you live by? Because here's the thing, a principled man will always live a principled life. Ladies, I want to ask you the question. Do you really want a principled man? I know you say it when you post it online. I know you say it when you post in the memes. But behind the scenes, do you really want a principled man with standards, with values, with structure, with the way that he lives his life? Because here's the thing. This type of man, a high values man, is a different caliber of a man. That's what he is. He's a different caliber of a man. He is not cut from the same cloth as everybody else. What do I mean? Ladies, you want to date a man of a different caliber, but here's the question. Are you ready to become the woman required to date that type of man, that kind of man rather, who is of a different caliber? Why? Because here's the thing. As he's striving to be better, guess what? He's going to strive for you to become better. He's going to challenge you to become better. As he's challenging himself to become better, he's going to challenge you to become better. Is the challenge a turnoff? Can you handle the challenge? Challenges create champions. Can you rise with him? Because as he's becoming better, he's going to require you to become better. Here's the thing. As he's becoming better, this is what you can't do. You can't just cry when things don't go your way, thinking that's going to move the needle, thinking that's going to move him. You can't just cry when you messed up and use your tears as a scapegoat to escape accountability. Y'all don't want to talk to me. Hello? It's the emotional intelligence. To receive this caliber type of man, what are you willing to do to become the right caliber type of woman that is deserving as a recipient of this kind of man? Man with high values. Bruh, you want a woman with high values. But what are your high values as a man? You don't want her to blame shift, but is that what you're doing as well? You want her to accept accountability, but are you doing that as well in your own life? By the standards, the structure, and the systems of how you live your life to where it's a principled life. Manifesting the power of manhood, manifesting the power of masculinity. Here's what we got to do. We got to grow up. We got to grow out of some things. Got to man up, got to heal up. I remember my grandfather, God rest his soul, he said, Eddie, you never have to tell anybody how good you are. If you're good at what you do, they will tell you. A lot of times we're trying to tell everybody how great we are, but what have we done that improved our own life, much less somebody else's? What have we done that has done anything other than improve our own life? What have we done to stretch our hands across the aisles, to mentor, to give back, to heal communities, to heal families, to mature from the inside out? In the midst of this special message, I got a special message for you. Yeah. I want you to hold it right there. Don't touch that dial. More is coming your way. On the other side of this break is more breakthrough. After these messages, I'll be right back. Are you an author or aspiring author interested in building your book? Do you want to develop as a speaker and communicator? Listen, check out my array of solutions and systems, like my bestseller book blueprint and successful speaker strategies. Explore my tailor-made programs designed to nurture your purpose and grow your greatness in order to increase your ideas, your impact, and your influence. Visit us today at theeaglesacademy.com/store so you can soar. Yes, y'all. And we don't stop. I want you to heed to those resources that you've heard. Let's get back to the word. To truly manifest the power of manhood, there's some maturing that we're going to have to do. I believe this is the season where God is maturing us as men to do more. God is maturing us to be men of valor. And here's the thing. In that maturity is a level of healing. In that maturity is where we have to surrender. Oftentimes we see surrender as forfeiting. We see surrender as giving up, but I want you to see surrender as going up. Hear me, my brother. I want you to see surrender as growing up. Family, just type surrender. Type surrender. I want you to see surrender as not giving up, but as going up. I want you to see surrender as growing up. Right? Because here's the thing. I'm not surrendering to somebody who may have the same amount of power as that I have. I'm not surrendering to somebody who's lower than I am. I'm surrendering to the one who created me. I'm surrendering my issues to God. I'm surrendering my life, my will, my skill, my emotions, my purpose, my hurts, my pains, my traumas, my test to become testimonies, my personal pain points. I'm casting all my cares on him because he cares for me. You over here grappling, trying to wonder about this woman. Surrender it. You over here wondering about what's the next move for your career and your calling and the level of commitment. Surrender it. The hurt and the pain of what it is that you experience as a boy that you never even really healed from, and you're a man right now. Surrender it. Because here's what they did. They told us to repress our emotions as boys. They told us to hold on. They told us to hold tight to what it is that we do and who it is that we are. But they never taught us to release. Release the pain. Release the setback. Give it up to go up. Give it up to grow up. Give up the poor attitude. Give up the lack of self-development. Give up the lack of self-discipline. Because we were taught to repress but not release. Hear me. Now we don't even express our emotions. So what do? We go through life having Will Smith, Mike Tyson moments. We react with our fist simply because our egos are fragile. Our egos are frail. We recognize the fragility in our masculinity. As a result, we lose faith. Lose faith in God. We lose faith in ourselves. Oftentimes due to a lack of emotional intelligence, due to a lack of emotional health, a lack of emotional awareness, due to that lack of self-awareness and the healing of what it is that we need internally. You get all the clothes, it's still not going to heal the real you. You can drive all the cars. You can only drive one car at a time. You know that. You can only wear one pair of shoes at one time. You know that. None of that is going to heal the real. Because we know how to conceal. We understand, here it is, and maybe you don't understand it, but let me let you know it. Masculinity, the prefix of masculinity is pronounced mask. That's what we wear. We hide behind the mask. We are the masked man. We are the masked men. And we have to reconcile our emotions reasonably. You don't fight fire with fire, you fight fire with water. Find the nearest escape route. You got to fight with my fist. I have to do something permanent in a temporary situation. I have to disrespect you. I can reconcile my emotions reasonably. I can take a step back in order to move forward. I can take the time to say, let me look at it from a different angle. Reasonably, respectfully, responsibly. We have to control our emotions while relinquishing our control in order to be vulnerable. Do you hear me? Come on, family, type balance. Balance. I have to find the balance. I have to be able to control my emotions. Yeah. While relinquishing control to be vulnerable. Woo, that's a fine balance. That's a value system that is created. What is the value system that you have created for your life as a man? This is what I will do. This is what I won't do. This is what I will hold myself accountable on. This is what I will itemize for the things that I need to work on. These are the accountability partners that I have. This is how I will hold myself accountable to make sure that I have measured what it is that I seek to fulfill. Because what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. What gets measured gets achieved. Got to control my emotions while relinquishing control all at the same time in order to be vulnerable. And here's what we got to do. It's a fine line. Sometimes it's a seesaw. Sometimes it's a tightrope. Sometimes there is a equilibrium that we're trying to balance out. Balancing control of our emotions while allowing ourselves to feel. Ooh. That's a tough one for us as men. Because a lot of times we don't want to feel nothing else but rage and pleasure. We don't want to feel the hurt. We want to numb ourselves to the pain. We don't want to feel it. But hear me, you can't heal it until you feel it. Can you allow yourself to feel in order to heal? Not talking about feeling her hand. Not talking about feeling the small of her back. Not talking about feeling what new money feels like in your hand. Not talking about feeling the whole aspect of the fabric on the designer clothes that are on your back. I'm talking about feeling the pain of what it is that we oftentimes ignore. Because here's what we do. Sadly, as men, oftentimes we lead with anger and materialism. and we don't know how to lead with love. We lead with our money. And hear me, bruh, how can you expect a woman not to want you to pay her bills if all you're waving are your dollar bills? Well, she wanted me for my money. That's all you ever extended. Because you felt like you had to lead with your money because you didn't feel like you had anything else more valuable than that. You felt insecure about who it is that you are. You felt insecure maybe about your body type. You felt insecure about where it is that you are in your particular life. You were dealing with certain insecurities and you felt like the money was going to cover the insecurity. You felt like the clothes were going to cover the insecurity. You felt like the car was going to cover the insecurity to where you pulled up to the scene with your ceiling missing. But you were missing in your own life. You didn't show up for you. What can you bring to the table, my brother, that the eyes can't see, that money can't purchase, that nobody else can buy? And here it is. If that's not good enough for her, if that's not good enough for them, if that's not good enough for the people in your life, tell them bye. Peace and release. Bless and release them. You can say bless and release because you know your value. You can tell people, listen, if you're not bringing no peace to my life, I got to let you go. If you ain't bringing peace, peace. You got to protect your peace. You got to protect your purpose. By any means necessary at all cost. And here's the cost. The cost is the sacrifice. You may have to lose people, but you're not going to lose you. Why lose you at the extent of holding on to them? Why lose you just to trauma bond with them? Hear me. There are emotional wounds. There are particular scars. There are intergenerational curses of trauma and baggage that we got to free ourselves from if we desire true peace from within. Because being a man is about more than being stoic and strong while suffering in silence. It's about more than sex, silence, sandwich, and an ego stroke. Because at our heart of hearts, when we really are genuine internally within ourselves, we will realize this, that as men, we have worn masks for so long that we have oftentimes forgotten who we are. Hear me. Could it possibly be that as a man, you've worn this mask for so long that now you've forgotten who you are? You've forgotten about the champion inside of you because all you see are the challenges. You forgot about your mentality because all you've done is you've just masqueraded it. You've masqueraded behind money. You've got really who you are at your core. Because you've been a grown boy, but you haven't healed the hurting boy. Yeah, it's difficult to remove your mask, but it's going to be worth it. Family, just type, I'm worth it. Come on, family, hit the thumbs up button on this video and type, I am worth it. You know what you're worth? You're worth the inner healing. You're worth the painful parts of exploring all of the places that need inner healing in your mind, your heart, your soul, and your spirit. You're worth it. It hurts, but it's worth it. You're worth it. You're worth taking time for you. You're worth taking a break from dating. Woo! So that you can tap into your real emotions. You're worth exploring your gifts. You're worth developing your business. You're worth taking the time to go to counseling and therapy. You're worth taking a vacation by yourself. Yeah, you've had a vacation. You need a you-cation. Because guess what? It's going to be for your transformation. You are worth it. You are worth the study. You are worth the self-development. You are worth the self-improvement. You are worth healing from the emotional incarceration, the psychological pain. You are worth unpacking the intergenerational trauma. You are worth unfriending yourself from certain people who are blocking you from your destiny. You are worth letting go of people who lack emotional intelligence. You are worth surrounding yourself with a woman who recognizes your worth and will respect it. And she'll respect you when you respect you. It's your time for love. It's your time for truth. It's your time for personal interconnectivity. It's your time to find freedom from psychological pain and emotional incarceration. Because beyond your title, beyond your profession, you need to recognize and realize that you really are a person. Person. You are a person with real emotions. You are a person. At your heart of hearts, you are a person who has big dreams and a purpose to fulfill. You're not worthless. You have a purpose. You are not a human doing. You are a human being. And I need you to hear me. Being present with yourself, being present with the truth of who it is that you are, having the hard conversations internally and interpersonally is going to be the game changer for you. Honoring your humanity. Honoring your emotions. How do you honor? You honor yourself by honoring the feelings that you have blockaded, that you have avoided, that you have ignored, that are eating away at your psychology internally. You honor yourself by freeing yourself for yourself. By freeing yourself for yourself and for the people who love you. You honor yourself by stepping up as a father, as a leader, as a brother, as a mentor, as a son, as an uncle, as a grandfather, as a mentor, as somebody who says, if I'm going to do this and I tell people I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Why? Because I am a man of my word. If I make the commitment, I'm holding myself accountable to it. I'm not drawing a line in the sand and then backing up. I'm standing 10 toes down on it. If you feel like I'm on your helmet right now, if you feel like I'm on your head, listen, it's not that I'm even on that. I'm trying to put this in your head. Trying to put this in your mind. I'm trying to reawaken you to the mentality of what it is that you were created to do. Your masculinity and your identity. And then the interpersonal connectivity. Because being a man is about more than just being stoic and strong. Being a man is about more than just holding frame. Being a man is about more than being unemotional. Being a man is about more than being emotionally unavailable and suffering in silence. Being a man is saying, listen, I'm going to remove the mask that's made me forgotten who I am so that I can remember who God created me to be. Come on, family, remember. Type remember. Type remember. Type remember. Remember what God gave you. Remember what God placed in you. Remember. Come on, I just need you just to remember. If you can just get a snapshot of who it is that you are, if you can just tap into your frame of reference, if you can just remember that there's greatness in you, if you can just remember that, yeah, you're a product of not just survivorship, you're not just a product of hurt, you're a product really of healing. You're a product of purpose. You've been purposed by design. You've been divinely designed with a purpose in mind. Yeah, it may be challenging to remove the mask. Yeah, it may be painful. Yes, it may even be difficult to remove your mask, but it's going to be worth it because you're imperfectly perfect. Removing your mask to tap into your masculinity. You are worth it. This is your time to love. This is your time to live in truth. This is your time to find freedom. Come on, family, type freedom. The freedom from the psychological pain. The freedom from the emotional incarceration. Why? Because healing is not a feminine thing. Healing is not just a masculine thing. Healing is not just a feminine or masculine thing. Healing is a human thing. As a human being. Listen, I know it. I get it. I empathize with it. Life has left scars on you. Life has left scars on your heart. Life has left scars to even make you depart from your purpose. Life has oftentimes wounded us to our core, to where we say, listen, I don't ever want to trust again. I don't ever want to love again. I don't need nobody. It's me against the world. And oftentimes that defense mechanism comes from the place that you know at your core you are in need of healing. You know at your core you have not held yourself accountable to the values that you need to adopt of accountability, of responsibility, of interpersonal healing, of principles that enact peace, of the solid foundation of what it is that you need to have spiritually so that you're not moved, to where you're not tethered to tests and trials and triggers and traumas and trauma bonds. But you understand that God brings stars out of your scars. He brings healing out of your hurting. He brings a right appointment out of your disappointment. He brings a breakthrough out of a broken heart. He transforms wombs into wisdom. And this is your time to tap into your truth, despite the trial. Tapping into your truth through transparency, through the power of vulnerability. I know it hurts. It hurts to change, but it hurts even more to stay the same. I would rather hurt moving forward than hurt to remain stagnant. Because here's the thing, it's going to hurt even more to remain how you are, where you are, the way you are. And you're a high values man. More than your money is about your integrity. More than your dollars and your cents, it's about your determination, your common sense. These are the standards that real men have to adopt to live by, but also to live out loud. Come on, family, type high values. Type high values man. High values man on a mission. High values man who manages. High values man who maintains. High values man who manifests. High values man who uses God's manual. High values man who recognizes that he has a mandate on his life. Somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. How much longer will you make them wait? You have a date with destiny, and the date comes through embracing your mandate to be who it is that you've been called by God to be. Family, I want you to sow into this word, because not as a debt that you owe, it is a seed that you sow. I want you to sow a seed into this word. Yeah, I'm living by high values. High values that God has placed on my life. High values. I want you to sow your seed. And I want you to name your seed. Yeah, I want you to do that. Sow your seed. And I want you to name your seed as well. 30, 60, 100 fold. I believing that God will do it for you, in you, with you, and through you. I'm sowing into my value because I recognize there's value inside of me. I'm sowing into my worth because I recognize that I'm worth it. Kings, you're worth it. Queens, you're worth it. Rehearse it. Affirm it. You're worth it. I want you to rehearse it. I want you to affirm it. I am worth it. And because I'm worth it, I can create high values for my life that speaks to the worth that I have within my life. You can sow via super chat. You can sow via super sticker. You can sow via Cash App, $Access Identity. PayPal as well. You can sow via Zelle, EddieConnorJr at Gmail. I want you to sow that way. It's not as a debt that you owe, it is a seed that you sow. I want you to sow where you grow, sow where you soar. This is where it is. It's a channel for change. It's a channel that creates change. It's a channel that brings change. It's a channel that breaks chains. This is our channel, family. Thank you for sowing via super chat, via super sticker. Thank you for sowing into this courageous conversation, to the breakthrough of what it is that God is doing for the man and the men that are in your life. Family, if you're not a member of our Eagles community, I want you to go ahead and join us. I want you to take a flight of faith with us into your future. We're building, we're growing, we're developing. That's what we're doing. Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's where I coach, it's where I teach, it's where I train, it's where I mentor. It is my private group coaching. I want you to be a part of that. Go right now, theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the Join Now button, fill out the form. I guarantee you'll be transformed. Eagles, our acronym, empowered, authentically gifted leaders, envisioning success. Come on, join us. We're going all the way there. Join us there. If you're not a member of our YouTube channel, tap the join button. We got some exclusive content, things that I don't necessarily share here. I share there. You want to join me there? Exclusive behind the scenes content, footage, members only discounts, a lot of courageous conversations that go on that are not shared here again, but it's only in our members area. Membership has its privileges. Become a member in one of those three tiers: VIP, Royalty, OQP. We're a growing and glowing community of quality people. You're a quality person. Join us and get some quality insight, inspiration, information. Family, just type OQP OQP. Are you up with OQP? Yeah, you know me. Hope you got something from this session to empower you to make greater progression, to understand your mandate as a man, and for our sisters to understand the man that is in your life and the mandate that is on his life. Family, In the Mix is out of time. But trust me, I'm not out of truth. So I want to thank you for rocking with me, riding with me, and rolling with me. Why? Because that's just how we roll. And we do that each and every single weekday, Monday through Friday. For In the Mix, right here on the digital airwaves of social media and YouTube. And since you're here on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button on this video. Come on, family. I'm growing your greatness. Help me to grow my channel. Hit the thumbs up button. Don't be a ghost follower. Hit the subscribe button. Come on, let me know it's real. Hit the subscribe button. For real, for real. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on all the social sites at EddieConnorJr. Come on, put some respect on my name. EddieConnorJr. If I can help you, if I can serve you in any way, please reach out to me. If you're looking for a dynamic speaker for your event, look no further. I'm the man for the job. Invite me to speak at your conference, your men's conference, your conference in general, your community center, your church, your school, your graduation, your session. Let's make some progression. You say, well, how do I invite you? Simply email me, info@EddieConnor.com. Yours truly, Dr. Eddie, your main man, 100 grand, your brother. And I mean that from another mother. Family, it's been fun, but a brother gotta run. But I want you to know it's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure. But I want you, yes, you, to remember, to keep the faith and believe. It's going to be bigger, better, brighter, peace, and a whole lot of love. Keep soaring higher. Let's soar beyond my YouTube channel. If you want something that goes beyond here, you're in for a treat. I have a private mentorship group where I coach, where I teach, and I provide live Q&A insight in our interactive breakout sessions. It's where I challenge you with innovative exercises to develop your skill set. And I provide feedback to foster your growth. We break it all down to build you up in our private Zoom room as we focus on transformative topics with accountability partners who really desire to grow their greatness by soaring into success and greater purpose. Come on, soar to new heights with us in our Eagles Academy. Get your wings to win, and let's soar into more at theeaglesacademy.com.